Welcome to the 130th installment of Em Alejandro, your number one place for sports, cars, video games, fitness. If you're a man, you're here. Mr. Alejandro's about to tell him.
What you about to tell him, Alejandro?
I'm about to tell him about the first annual 2016 TEA Awards.
Tell him, Alejandro.
TEA drinkers, Happy New Year! And welcome to the first annual TEA Awards, where your boy Mr. Alejandro's gonna be discussing some of the biggest moments and people from the year 2015. Let's get into it. Woo! The first category will be the biggest disappointments of the year 2015. We got two nominees, people. The first one is Floyd Money Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Now, for me, I personally love the beefing throughout the years and the fight. However, plenty of people were highly disappointed with the outcome of the fight as well as the actual fight. Mad Cats thought it was boring. The next nominee for me is the injuries from the Cleveland Cavaliers, because the injuries from the Cavaliers in the year 2015 caused us to miss a very sexy matchup, which would have been LeBron plus Love plus Kyrie, aka LeBron and friends, versus the Golden State Warriors. Unfortunately, all we got to see was LeBron alone versus the Golden State Warriors. And let's face it, that's not why LeBron left the Miami Heat. He didn't leave to play alone. He left to play with goons. The goons were injured. And the TEA award for biggest disappointment of the year goes to Mayweather versus Pacquiao. For me, I enjoyed the fight because from a boxing standpoint, it was beautiful. However, a lot of people felt like the fight was very underwhelming. A lot of cats wanted some type of decisive ending, like a knockout or something like that. I feel them, but at the end of the day, if 47 times Mayweather fights a defensive style of boxing, why would he change the 48th time? It worked 47 times because he was 47-0. Now he's 49-0 and he's enjoying retirement and he's enjoying all that bread. Let's go to the next category. That is the biggest beefs of the year. We're going to start off with our first nominee, Odell Beckham Jr. versus Josh Norman. I feel like the fighting throughout the entire game between these two players made this game the best game of the NFL season thus far. Definitely the best regular season game of the year. The game was actually very competitive as well. The Panthers were blowing the Giants out. The Giants ended up coming back. Beckham had a great touchdown against Norman. The game was popping. The fight was popping. I'm excited. I got to witness that. Another nominee is Matt Barnes versus Derek Fisher. If you don't know what's going on between these two goons, good Lord. Basically what happened was Derek Fisher was messing with Matt Barnes' ex-wife. Matt Barnes found out. Matt Barnes wasn't having that. Matt Barnes met up with Derek Fisher in a private location, and Matt Barnes gave Derek Fisher a good case of the beats. So this is great beef, baby, because Derek Fisher is the coach for the New York Knicks, and Matt Barnes is currently a player for the Memphis Grizzlies. And what do you know? On Saturday, the Grizzlies will be playing against the New York Knicks. I can't wait to see how these two players interact. And also, Matt Barnes left a statement and basically said, yo, eventually I'm going to retire and both of our paths will cross one another. Matt Barnes is not going to let this go. I'm happy about this. And the winner of the TEA award for the biggest beefs of the year goes to Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher. People, whenever we got beef outside of the game, it's always sexy. I'm talking about when I see you, we gonna have issues. We coming to blows, fisticuffs. That takes the championship over anything that happens on the court. So Matt Barnes, Derek Fisher, y'all got the beef of the year, baby. The TEA award for illest athlete of the year goes to Serena Williams. No nominee is necessary. Serena's a beast and she's holding things down for her sport. Serena Williams had a phenomenal 2015. She finished the year with a 53-3 record. She fell 2 matches short of completing a calendar Grand Slam, son. She won the Australian Open. She won Wimbledon. She won the French Open. Unfortunately, she came to New York and took an L in the US Open. But man, Serena had a beastly year. She won her 700th victory. She's the 8th woman to ever pull off a feat like that. And she also started the year ranked number 1 and finished the year ranked number 1. By the way, she did the same thing in 2014. So that's 2 straight years she started off number 1 and finished. I expect her to do the same in 2016. Shout out to Serena Williams.
Shout out!
The TA award for slickest of the year goes to Tom Brady. At the end of the 2014 season, Tom Brady and the New England Patriots were involved in a Deflategate scandal. If you don't know what that was, basically one of the footballs, or should I say several of the footballs that were in play for the game against the Indianapolis Colts, those footballs magically lost air in the footballs, okay? Now, Tom Brady and the Patriots claim they don't know what happened. To start off the 2015 season, Tom Brady was reprimanded by the league. He was suspended 4 games. However, Tom Brady took it to court and it was proven that he didn't know what happened. The Patriots didn't know what happened. And the 4-game suspension was withheld and Tom Brady actually started the season playing in September. That is crazy because I know he knew what happened with those footballs. You know you think Tom Brady knew what happened with those footballs because let's face it, the quarterback of course knows what's going on with the footballs. The quarterback sets the footballs up in a manner where he can grip it and use it in game. He breaks the footballs in. For Brady to all of a sudden not know that the ball was slightly deflated, that's kind of sus, especially when we have one of the people who works for the Patriots taking several footballs, taking them to the bathroom, and then coming back with the footballs. This is on camera. So for people to say Brady didn't know, that's kind of fugazi to me. But hey, when you're slick, all you can do is salute it, man. So shout out to my man Tom Brady. He got away with it in court, but in the court of public opinion, we all know he knew what went down. That's why my man Tom Brady gets the Slickest of the Year TA award. The TA award for biggest bandwagoners of the year goes to the fake New York Mets fans. People, this past baseball season, my New York Mets made the World Series. Let me tell you, the bandwagon was crazy. There was mad cats pretending to be Mets fans, mad Mets slurpers. Where were y'all on the rise, on the way to the World Series? Y'all wasn't around when we were one of the worst NL teams offensively in the league. Y'all wasn't around when my mans, Yoenis Cespedes, got traded to the Mets. Y'all wasn't around when Wilmer Flores was crying because he thought he was about to get traded. My Venezuelan man. Y'all wasn't around for all that. But all of a sudden, when the Mets make the World Series, when your boy Mr. Alejandro goes to the bodega to buy some salchicha huevo y queso, all of a sudden everybody rocking New York Yankees fitteds switched it up to the New York Mets fitted. That's crazy that out of the blue, everybody and their mama was rocking royal blue and orange. Stop faking to be a Mets fan. So all y'all fake Mets fans, y'all get the award, the TEA award for biggest bandwagoners of the year. Get on my face, man. Next up, the biggest L of the year, Athlete Edition. In other words, who took the biggest loss of the year? Our first nominee is my man's José Aldo. He was the champion in UFC, my G. He had an undefeated streak for over 10 years. He was defending his championship for over 5 years. And my man José Aldo got knocked out clean by Conor McGregor. But it wasn't just, look at me, I got knocked out. No, people, it's one of the most humiliating losses you'll ever see. This man got knocked out in 13 seconds. 10 years of hard manual labor ended in 13 seconds, people. That's a damn shame. And I'm a big fan of José Aldo, but yo, a 13-second knockout and the amount of trash both people were talking to one another, they really don't like each other. Especially Conor, because he's a trash talker. So to see Conor run his mouth like that and back it up in a measly 13 seconds, wow. Speaking of MMA, the next nominee for biggest L of the year is Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was the champion in her sport, similar to my man's Aldo. Ronda Rousey was undefeated, and she too was humiliatingly knocked out by Holly Holm. However, the thing with Ronda is, I feel like, me personally, she was distracted with endorsements, movies, things of that nature, things outside the octagon, you feel me? And I feel like she played into Holly Holm's strengths. Holly Holm is a beastie striker. Holly Holm is a beastie boxer. And I feel like at some point in time, Ronda got into her ego, you feel me? And she felt like she wanted to outhands Holly Holm. Holly Holm's hands is legendary. Holly Holm's hands is epic. You ain't gonna outpunch Holly Holm. I feel like Ronda and Holly will have a rematch, and I feel like in that rematch, my girl Ronda's gonna have to get on her game and grapple, ground and pound her, and I think that's how Ronda will win that match. But hey, we'll see what happens. I can't wait for that rematch. Anyway, Ronda, that knockout, bad knockout, not a good look, and that is why she is being nominated. My next nominee for the biggest L of the year goes to the Seattle Seahawks. People, if you're unfamiliar what happened, let me put it for you in simple words. The Seattle Seahawks had an opportunity to win the Super Bowl, but because of poor coaching, they did not win the Super Bowl. They literally took the trophy and handed it to the other team. That's the best way I could put it to y'all. They had a beast, a goon by the name of Marshawn Lynch, aka Beast Mode. People, all the Seahawks had to do was give Beast Mode the ball, let him run it in for a touchdown, and then they would be the Super Bowl champions. Instead, what happened was they did not give Beast Mode the ball. They decided to throw the ball close to the end zone, literally less than 2 yards away. Instead of running, they passed, interception, game over. They handed the Super Bowl trophy over. That's not a good look. The next nominee for biggest L of the year is Geno Smith. He is a former starting quarterback for the New York Jets. When he was the starter, prior to the start of the season, he got snuffed by one of his teammates, Ike Enemkpali. Why was he snuffed? Over 6 blue Benjis, people, $600. After getting snuffed, he got his jaw wired shut, and he never got his starting position back. And he might get released from the New York Jets, and he may never be a starter in the league ever. So talk about a big L. People, his career may never be the same as it was prior to getting snuffed. Ain't that something? You don't see a lot of stories like that. This is a very unique story. Anyway, the winner of the TA award for the biggest L of the year, Athletes Edition, goes to the Seattle Seahawks. People, I'm sorry. I'm not going to ever let this rock. You cannot ever throw away a Super Bowl championship. It's not possible. Not without some type of scrutiny. We got to talk about the offensive coordinator. He's bugging for making that play decision. You don't decide to pass when you're within 2 yards of scoring and you have beast mode on the roster. We got to talk about the head coach. You approved of the offensive coordinator's stupidity. I ain't letting it rock. And we also going to blame the quarterback, Russell Wilson. Why? Because he ain't audible and change the play. Make the audible. Change the play. You got to make adjustments on the fly. I would look at my head coach. I would look at my offensive coordinator and I tell him straight up, y'all are bugging. I'm not throwing this football. I'm about to put it in the stomach and the hands of beast mode. And if we lose with him trying to run it into the end zone, so be it. Ain't no way in hell I'm throwing the football when we less than 2 yards away and the Super Bowl's on the line. It's just not happening. All 3 of y'all take an L. Ugh. TA Drinkers, mad stuff popped off this year in pop culture, and we about to talk about it. We have the biggest L of the year, pop culture edition. Our first nominee is my man's Steve Harvey. Bro, you cannot make that big of a mistake, not on that stage. Me personally, I even feel like Steve Harvey was supposed to be the host of the beauty pageant, okay? That's just me personally. And if you're unfamiliar, if you really don't know what happened, Steve Harvey on public national TV crowned the wrong beautiful woman. Put the crown on her and all that. He said, Miss Columbia, you're the winner. And then you know what he did? He came out minutes later, not immediately, but minutes later, crowned the correct champion. Then, after all that, misspelled mad stuff on Twitter and Facebook and all that. Not to mention, I got to see the envelope that Steve Harvey was reading from. People, it says it in big capital letters in its own space. It says Miss Philippines. Miss Columbia is on a completely other side of the paper in small font. So Steve Harvey, you can't make a mistake like this. Especially, look at what he put on Twitter. He completely misspelled Philippines. What he spelled was something from the Bible. Come on, Steve. You definitely get a nomination. Another nominee for biggest L of the year is my man's Meek Mill. If you're unfamiliar with why he's getting this nomination, it's simple. He had a beef with Drake. He lost the beef with Drake drastically. But his name is being ran through the mud after the beef. Now, me personally, I'm 50-50 because I feel like Meek had some great points. I feel like he called Drake out for not really doing all of his songs. And that bothers me. If we're going to view Drake as this amazing musician, let's face it. He not writing all his songs. If I find out Jordan, LeBron, Kobe are taking steroids, that's going to bother me. However, Meek didn't use his ammunition properly. Meek, in the end, really did have Twitter fingers. And now, at the start of 2016, we're finding out that Meek might be going to jail. Not a good look. I'm rooting for Meek. The Toronto Raptors aren't even playing his music in the locker room. I hope Meek don't go to jail. In the end, Meek is still a winner because he definitely does have Nicki, and she's sexy. Nonetheless, I feel like Meek could have played this so much better. Drake dropped Charged Up. Charged Up was not all that popping. Meek took too long to drop his I Just Want to Know. And that allowed Drake to drop the back-to-back, which was flames. I feel like if Meek would have dropped his diss after Charged Up, and then Drake would have dropped back-to-back, then Meek could have came back with something. Everything would have been all good and gravy, and we probably would have a different outlook on things. Not to mention, I Just Want to Know by Meek wasn't even all that popping. If you go back and listen to some freestyles from Meek, you're going to be like, yo, Meek, you could have did so much better, because Meek is nice. I still believe in Meek, and I'm waiting for that Dream Chasers 4. Meek, keep your head up, but you're definitely a nominee for one of the biggest L's of the year. Next up, we got to talk about Jared, the Subway dude. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't know what happened with this dude, basically we found out he was involved with mad child pornography. That's not a good look. He's been deceiving us for years, smiling in these commercials, talking about he ate sandwiches to lose weight. This guy's whack. The next nominee is Bill Cosby. Now, Bill Cosby has a big situation going on. He's being accused of drugging women and raping women for years. That's not a good look. That's going to get you a nomination. Another nominee for biggest L of the year goes to Rachel Dolezal. Rachel Dolezal is a Caucasian woman who pretended and portrayed herself to be an African American woman. Of course, she got national shame. She lost her job. That's going to get you a nomination. And the final nominee for biggest L of the year is Charlie Sheen. In 2015, we found out Charlie Sheen was HIV positive. We found out Charlie Sheen was doing a whole bunch of weird porn. Charlie Sheen is not really a good look right now, and he is a nominee for biggest L of the year. And the winner of the TA Award for biggest L of the year, Pop Culture Edition, goes to Meek Mill. Meek, keep your head up. I'm rooting for you because I'm a fan, but 2015 was not a good look for you. And I must also say this, unfortunately, a lot of what he did was like self-inflicted. You feel me? It was like, put Twitter down, put down the gram, put all that stuff down, drop some song, drop some heat, drop some flames. I really feel like Drake used his mind, and Drake was smarter than him, a little bit more tactical with the beef, and Meek didn't play that beef well. Meek gets the TA Award for biggest L of the year. There you have it, folks. Mr. Alejandro's first annual 2016 TEA Awards. TEA drinkers, let me know what y'all think about the nominees and, of course, the winners. And feel free throughout the year to look out for some additional nominees and possibly some additional categories. That way we can make the TEA Awards bigger and better. Tell them in the comments.
Tell them.
Tonight's Bow Tie is brought to you by Ted Baker. Bow Ties on strong. 2016, bring it on. Tune in for more sports, cars, video games, fitness, and all that. Follow at Em Alejandro to hear my immediate reaction to live sports events, or if you want to hear me cover a certain team or topic. Tell them outro music. Bow. Yeah. TEA drinkers, all y'all are currently worried about what's going on with El Chapo. Don't worry about all that. The government got that on lock. Y'all need to be looking out for my mans, the booty warrior, Police Johnson. He's out on the loose, people. He's coming for your pants. So make sure you buckle up your belt nice and tight. Let's get it.